Welcome everyone to, I guess it's Wednesday College Series, but it's really dedicated today to all of you who are the SDSU admitted students. Congratulations on your admittance to SDSU. Today, we are so fortunate to have Gina Kim from SDSU to share with you information as you are getting ready for college. So I'll hand it over to Gina.
Thank you. If you guys could do me a favor and mute, feel free to utilize the chat feature to ask any questions. I'll be monitoring the chat, but if you can mute, that would be extremely helpful, just since we have so many students in here. Okay. Let's see. Yes, this meeting will be recorded and Ms. Coletto will be putting it on the YouTube page for you guys. Okay. So welcome to the San Diego State University admissions presentation for our admitted students. Congratulations on your admissions to SDSU. It was an extremely competitive year and we're just so excited to be welcoming in a new group of students for fall 2021. Sorry, I'm trying to mute someone. Okay, there we go. So again, my name is Gina Kim. I'm a senior admissions counselor and scholarship and events coordinator at SDSU. And today what I'll do is I'm going to go over some information about our campus, about our programs, about your next steps to enroll and things like that. So feel free to, if you have any questions, put them in the chat and I will answer them as I see them. Starting with some fast facts about SDSU, we currently have about 34,000 students enrolled. And that breaks down to about 30,000 undergraduate students and about 4,000 graduate students. So if you're researching other schools to possibly commit to, or you're trying to figure out where you're going to be committing to for the fall, you do want to kind of pay attention to the size of the campus and the location of the campus, because this is your home for the next 4 years. You want to make sure that wherever the campus is or however big the campus is, this feels like a home for you. We are one of the largest CSUs in the CSU system. Some other large CSUs are CSUN, which is in Northridge in LA, and Long Beach State. So CSUN, Long Beach State, SDSU are the three biggest CSUs. We also have smaller campuses like Channel Islands, CSU San Marcos, Cal Maritime has 1,100 students. So there's a lot of variety within the 23 CSU system. For our 34,000 students, we offer 197 academic degree choices ranging from your bachelor's, master's to doctoral programs. So whatever you wanted to study at SDSU, we do have programs here for you. It's not uncommon for our students to come back after their bachelor's degree to get a master's or even a PhD later on. And we're very proud of the fact that we're in the top 30 in the nation for ethnic diversity. I feel like San Diego, California itself is a very diverse city, diverse state, but at SDSU, you'll be taking classes with students from all over the world, from different backgrounds and different cultures, and getting to know what really exists outside of San Diego, California. Okay. Speaking of what exists outside of San Diego, California, we do have a really great study abroad program. In fact, we're currently ranked number 5 in the nation for students studying abroad and number 1 in California for students studying abroad. So we send thousands of students abroad every year. We have over 300 different programs in 52 different countries. So literally wherever you want us to go in the world, we can send you. I would say our most popular areas for study abroad are some are in Europe, right? A lot of students want to go to London, Paris, Rome. We have students go to Costa Rica. We have students go to Africa. We have students just go everywhere around the world. And it's a really great program. Some of our majors will require you to go study abroad before you can graduate from SDSU with a degree. So I'll point this out when we get to our majors page. But even if it's not required for you, we highly recommend that you go. It's a great experience. There's a lot of financial aid available. And if you go for more than a semester, which you totally can, you get to, you take classes while you're abroad. So you're not delaying graduation by studying abroad. So it is a really great opportunity, especially for college students. If you try to travel, like if you graduate, when you graduate college and you try to travel to Europe for a semester, which is like 3-4 months, that's a lot of money that you'd have to pay for food, room, boarding, all that stuff. But at the college level, there's a lot of financial aid and grants and stuff to help you with that. If you were admitted to the Weber Honors College, congratulations. It is a very competitive program for our high achieving students. Some of the benefits of the Weber Honors College include smaller class sizes. So through the Honors College, you take honors classes that are going to be limited to 25 students or less. All those classes will lead to a minor in interdisciplinary studies. And these classes aren't like your typical college class. They're not like your engineering class or your math class. These classes are fun, like hip hop and religion, art and crime, things that are a little bit more outside of the box that foster discussion. That's what the Honors College is all about. All the honors students also live on campus together. Their first year in Zura Hall, one of our best residential halls. So even though Scripps Ranch students are not required to live on campus, if you join the Weber Honors College, you do have to live on campus for the first year. So just be mindful of that. No matter what your major is at SDSU, we do have undergraduate research available for all of our students. And the key word here is undergraduate. We do have a lot of great research universities here in California, but a lot of those schools will offer graduate students research or just faculty students research or faculty members research, right? Not a lot of schools will offer research at the undergraduate level. But at SDSU, we want students to get hands-on experience. So not just be in a lecture all the time, but actually apply what you're learning to real life. And the best way to do that is through research, through internships, through labs, and things like that. So we want you guys to take what you're learning, apply it to real life, because when you're looking for jobs, that's what employers want to see, that students know what they're doing and don't have to be trained on it because you already have that experience. And for student involvement, we have over 300 different student organizations, ranging from cultural organizations to religious organizations to interest-based organizations. We have really ridiculous organizations such as the Lettuce Club, where they get together once or twice a semester, and whoever can finish ahead of lettuce first becomes the president the following year. So we have fun clubs like that, but we also have clubs that can help you with your professional development. So for example, our student accounting student org, what they do is they help each other. The students will help each other prepare for the exams that you have to take to be an accountant. They have guest speakers come from accounting firms throughout San Diego. Accounting firms will recruit students directly from these student orgs because they already know that these students have great education and experience. So student orgs are not just a great way to make friends that have similar interests, but also to help your career further. We also have associated students, kind of like ASB in high school. Our associated students, you do have to be elected into a leadership position. They control over $20 million in budget. So it's really not a small operation. It's a huge operation. You are the voice for the students. It gives you hands-on knowledge for business, leadership, or politics. So if you're interested in any of those fields, AS is a great way to get involved. We also have honor societies. We have Greek life. So if you're interested in fraternities and sororities, we do have those on campus. We have cultural groups, etc. Lots of ways for you to get involved. We want you to get involved in as much as possible so that you have a good college experience. For athletics, we have all Division I teams, so the best of the best. For any of our home games, SDSU students are admitted free. So if you wanted to go to a basketball game or a football game, all you have to do is get a student ticket. I would say the more competitive the game is, or the higher the stakes are, the faster the tickets run out. Like last year, we were the only undefeated team in the nation before COVID hit. And so during those games, as we got higher and higher into the rankings, those tickets were going out really, really fast. So as long as you can secure a student ticket, you can go to any of our D1 home games for free and cheer on for the Aztecs. You probably have parents or grandparents or family members or neighbors that are Aztec fans and still go to the games. That's my favorite part about SDSU, is that we still bring together the community. So whether you're an alumni or not, SDSU games are where you can find all of San Diego to cheer on for the Aztecs, and it really fosters a good sense of campus pride. We also have intramural and club sports. Club sports are competitive. They do require some travel, as you have to go play games with different schools in different areas and tournaments and such like that. Intramural is just for SDSU students. So if you wanted to pick up a game of basketball or join a basketball team on campus and just play with SDSU students, that's what intramural sports are. So 3 different levels of athletics, D1 being the most competitive and the most time consuming. then club, and then intramural. I'm going to jump right into the admissions process. If you have any questions about student life or anything that I've covered so far, put them in the chat. But moving on to what you need to do that now you've been admitted. So if you are planning to accept your offer of admissions, the first thing that you need to do is go into your web portal and click on your intent to enroll and say, yes, I am coming to SDSU in the fall. If you know that you will not be attending, if you can let us know by selecting no, that would also be helpful. But hopefully all of you are going to come to SDSU, my hopes. So make sure you submit your intent to enroll form, and there is a non-refundable $400 deposit also. So it is a non-refundable deposit. The deposit goes towards your first semester tuition. But if you get off the wait list for another school, or you decide to go somewhere else, or your admissions was rescinded, it is a non-refundable deposit. The next thing that you need to do is go ahead and send in your transcripts for all the schools that you've attended. So if you transferred from Rancho Bernardo High School to Scripps Ranch High School in the middle of your 9th or 10th grade, we do need transcripts of all the institutions that you've attended. So basically any school that you reported on your application, on your Cal State Apply application, we do need official transcripts for. If possible, we do prefer electronic transcripts. So if your counselor or registrar can send them through Parchment or Navient, that would be preferable, as they do come in faster and are processed faster, and it's a little bit more secure than sending them by mail. If you attended Miramar College or Mesa College and college courses there, we do need those transcripts as well. So everything that you have up until, including grades for fall 2020, we do need. And then for your high school transcript, we need your mid-year transcripts by May 1st. Okay. So there's 2 rounds of transcripts. Your first round of transcripts is due May 1st. That lets us know that you are on track with everything that you reported. If you reported any SAT or ACT scores on your application, we do need those official scores. We did not look at your test scores for admission, so it wasn't required for you to put your SAT or ACT for admission purposes. But if you did take them, we could use them for course placement to place you into the appropriate math or English class. So if you have them, go ahead and send them to us through College Board or ACT. That's one less thing that you'll have to do later for course placement. But if you don't have them, do not worry. There's no negative impact on anything. Once you sign your intent to enroll, send in the $400 deposit. Within about 30 minutes to an hour, you'll get an email to activate your Sdsu ID. So you all already have a red ID number, which is a string of 9-digit number. And that's your red ID number. Your Sdsu ID is your Sdsu email address. So you'll get a, first initial, last name, couple numbers at sdsu.edu. That's going to be your Sdsu ID. If you plan to live on campus or you are part of the Weber Honors College, you also need to submit the housing licensing agreement by May 1st. And there is a non-refundable $375 initial payment, which goes towards your first payment for housing. But again, housing is optional for you unless you are part of the Weber Honors College. Once you activate your Sdsu ID, all of your future Sdsu emails will go to your Sdsu email address. So it is really important that you continue to check your Sdsu email or set up some kind of forwarding so it goes to your personal email account. But all future Sdsu emails will now then go to your Sdsu ID email. So everything on this page is due by May 1st. After you submit your intent to enroll, the next step is going to be to send in your final transcript. So once you graduate from Scripps Ranch High School, we will need your final transcripts by July 15th. And if you took any AP or IB and passed with a passing score through your higher, we do need your official scores through College Board or through IB. So go ahead and send them to us. If you're taking any AP exams this May as a senior, indicate you want your scores to be sent to Sdsu and we'll get them as soon as they're available. But we need your final transcripts with your graduation date and your AP or IB reports by July 15th. If you took any college courses, you will also need to send in your final college transcript by July 15th. It's really, really, really important that you continue to check your web portal, which is where you find out your admission status and where you can track your transcripts as time goes on, because that's where the important admissions information will be. And your aid link is your financial aid portal. So that's where you can check to see like how much aid you were eligible for in terms of the grant. Maybe you qualify for work study or pre-qualify for loans. All of that information would be on your aid link, which is your financial aid portal. And finally, it's really important that you keep your grades up. I mentioned earlier that the $400 deposit and possibly the $375 if you live on campus, those fees are non-refundable. So if your grades drop below what you were admitted with, or you get a D or F in any of your senior level classes, that can put your admissions at risk to be rescinded. So it's really important that you keep your grades up, that you end senior year strong, and that you send us your transcript so we can verify all the information. I saw a question about if the school automatically sends your transcript. I am not sure. I don't think for the May 1st one, they send it automatically. I think it's up to you to make that request. The final one, I am not sure if they send automatically. Different schools do it a different way. But if in doubt, check with your counselor and they can let you know if you need to request it or if they send it automatically. But it's always good to be proactive and make sure that you're following all the steps. The thing that I hate to hear the most is, well, so-and-so was supposed to do it and they never did. Well, where were you in the equation, right? What did you do to make sure it was done? So it's never a bad idea to be proactive and make sure that everything is being done. After your intention role, the next step would be to sign up for orientation. So the registration for summer orientation will open on May 11th at 10 a.m. That is not when orientation is, that's just when the registration site opens and you can go in and choose the date that works best for you. Orientation is typically held in the middle of July to the beginning of August for our freshmen. And orientation this year will be online due to COVID-19. So you can learn all about the GE requirements, major requirements, graduation requirements, you can meet with faculty, advisors, staff, administrators that will help you throughout your next 4 years. And you can even register for your classes at the end of the day, all from the comfort of your home. So the best thing about orientation is that you do get to register for your fall classes at the end of the day. If you do not come to orientation, you'll be assigned a registration date after all the freshmen have done orientation. So this is one way to get ahead and have an earlier registration date. But keep in mind that orientation is not required. It is optional, but highly, highly recommended. You can register for orientation at the orientation website, sdsu.edu/orientation. All right, just quickly, this is a list of majors. Now that you've all been admitted, you were admitted to one of these majors. Say that you did start off as your major, but you decide later on that that's not what you wanted to do. You wanted to change your major. It is completely possible and very common. So if you wanted to go from accounting to psychology or from engineering to journalism, that's absolutely possible. The only major that we do not allow anybody to change into is nursing. And that's because nursing is a direct entry program. So if you wanted to do nursing at SDSU, you had to be admitted for nursing from the beginning. Otherwise, you would not be able to pursue nursing at San Diego State. But anything else you can switch in and out of. Keep in mind that the more often you change your major or the more majors you take on, the longer it could take you to graduate. But technically, you can do any combination of a double major and a double minor if you wanted to. I mentioned earlier that we do have some majors that require you to go study abroad before you can graduate from SDSU. And those majors are everything within our Health and Human Services College, our international business majors, and our language majors. You do have to go study abroad before you can graduate from SDSU with a degree in those areas. For tuition, our tuition this upcoming year will be $8,136. So it is one of the most affordable options for college that you can have. We are a semester-based system, so you pay half of the $8,000 in the fall and half in the spring. So you don't pay all $8,136 altogether. For typical on-campus food and housing, we're looking on average about $19,000, and that will depend on the type of room that you have and your meal plan. So if you live in a single room all by yourself, that's going to be the most expensive option. If you live in a quad with 3 other people, that's going to be the more affordable option. So the more roommates you have, the more affordable your housing becomes. And then for food, depending on how flexible your meal plan is, the more often you want to eat on campus, or the more flexible you want it to be, and the more expensive it is. but combined together on average, we're looking at about $19,000. For book supplies, personal expenses, transportation, that will also fluctuate. I think $4,000 is on the higher end, but we're looking at if you rent textbooks versus buy textbooks, that will be more affordable. If you live on campus, then you don't have to worry about commuting, but if you do commute, then you have to worry about the parking permits and things like that. So it'll vary drastically from person to person, but on average, on the higher end, I would say $4,000. That brings us to a total of about $31,000 for your first year at San Diego State. On your web portal, sometime during the summer, you'll see a fee deadline. So you do need to make sure that your basic tuition and fees are paid by that deadline. Otherwise, a hold will be placed on your account. So make sure that you check your email, again, your SDSU email, and your web portal to make sure that you are following all the deadlines. You can always check your financial aid status by visiting your aid link, which is sdsu.edu/aid link. So make sure you log on there and see what your preliminary award is like. We get this information from your FAFSA. So as long as you did the FAFSA by the deadline, you should have an estimated financial aid award. Some students are randomly selected for verification though, so it may ask you to upload some additional documents. So if you are in that situation, the sooner you upload that, the sooner that they can get back to you with an estimated financial aid award. Tuition and housing can be broken down into installment or payment plans if that's easier for you and your family. So if that's something that you are interested in or want to do, you do want to get in touch with our student account services and work that out with them. So it is possible to break down the tuition and the housing into installment plans if that's easier. So housing, students coming from your high school are not required to live on campus if you don't want to. The only exception to that is the Weber Honors College. So local students who join the Weber Honors College are required to live on campus for the first year, and that's because they want all of the honors students together in Zura Hall. That's what makes them a good community to be part of. That's a smaller community within a large campus. But if otherwise, you don't have to live on campus if you don't want to. We do highly recommend it though. Students who live on campus have higher GPAs. It's definitely more convenient. You know, it could take me 15 to 30 minutes without traffic to drive to Scripps Ranch. With traffic, that could be 45 minutes to an hour one way. So instead of commuting and spending that time in traffic, you could be in another class or you could be in an office hour. So there's a lot you can do without having to commute. So we do highly recommend that you live on campus if possible. Within our residential halls, we have different floors devoted to different themes. So if you are a business student, for example, you can choose or you can apply to live on the business floor with other business students, and you can take classes together, study together, and just have that smaller community within a large campus. So if these are anything that you are interested in, you would indicate your preferences on your housing application, and our housing office will do their best to match you with your preferences. It's not required, it's recommended though, just to create that smaller community within a large campus. All right, that's it for me. Everything that I went over today is on your web portal, but it's also on our Steps to Enroll website. So sdsu.edu/admittedfreshman. Follow us on social media. But then you also have my email address right on the screen for you. If you have any questions about your admissions, or say that something says it's missing on your web portal and you don't know what it is, you can always email me and I can look into it. Just do me a favor and email me your red ID number so I can look into your file. If you ever wanted to connect with an admissions representative live, we do have a virtual front desk on Zoom Monday through Friday from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. So you can always come in and speak with an admissions counselor. But if you email me, I get back to you pretty quick, at the most, maybe a couple days if it's a weekend or a holiday. But if you don't hear back from me within a couple days, feel free to email me again. Sometimes things do get buried, but I will do my best to respond to you as soon as possible. Let's see, does the Honors College have quad dorms? The majority of our residential halls have a triple, so 3 people in one room. That's the most common configuration at SDSU. All right, if you don't have any questions, you are more than welcome to leave. Thank you so much for attending my session today. And I hope to see you at SDSU, and go Aztecs. But if you have any questions, I will be here. So put them in the chat or unmute yourselves, and I can certainly answer them before we go today. Thank you. Okay, AP scores. Okay, yes, AP scores. So once you submit your AP scores, that line will disappear from our web portal. It's a coding thing, so that does mean that we got it. But if you wanted to make sure, just email me your red ID number and I can double check to see which AP scores we received. But yes, in general, if you send your AP scores and that section disappears on your web portal, that means we received it. Is there a requirement to live on campus as a Fowler Scholar? I don't believe so. However, the Fowler Scholar Program is a separate program, so you do want to get in touch with them directly for that question. But as far as I'm aware, the only time a local student needs to live on campus is if they're part of the Weber Honors College. But the Fowler Scholar it's a great program. I cannot recommend it enough. So I highly recommend you take that offer.
Hey, I have a question. I'm applying
Yeah, go
for
ahead.
the Aztec Scholarship application.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and then one of the questions there is are you in a ROTC program? Well, I'm not in ROTC, but I am planning on applying to it and registering for it when I start my my freshman year at Sdsu. So do I check that off, or do I just leave saying no for that? So I have to be already in the program working at it, right?
Correct. Yeah. So the Aztec Scholarship application is available to all the current students at Sdsu. So that's more. So what the general application does is it'll take all your answers and match you to different scholarships. So if you answer yes, but you're not in a ROTC program, then it might match you to specific ROTC scholarships that you would not be eligible for. So for that question, you would answer no. I see a question.
So this is something I can only check off like at my sophomore year, because at that point I'd already be in ROTC, right? But if I'm planning on joining it, then it doesn't matter. You don't put that in there?
No.
Okay,
no, because you're not currently in it.
Right. Yeah. Wait, when does it process?
Sorry?
You said something about after we submit the scholarship, it matches up, right? When does that happen?
Yes. So it happens, I'm not sure how quickly it happens, but once you submit your general application, you'll be auto-matched to a lot of different scholarships. I don't remember if you are notified of what scholarships you are matched to, or they just automatically do it. Sometimes scholarships will ask for additional information, so supplemental essay questions or whatnot. And in that situation, then you would see it because you have additional documents that you need to submit. But you can always get in touch with their scholarship office and they can kind of walk you through that process of what the auto match scholarships are like. I only know it from a very limited perspective for the scholarships that I manage.
Oh, okay, thank you.
You're welcome. I see a question of if you aren't able to submit your transcripts on time, will your admissions be rescinded? So that's a tricky question. So your transcripts have to be postmarked by May 1st, otherwise your admissions could be at risk. However, every year around this time of year, we get thousands of transcripts every day, and it's a human process. So it takes us a little longer to process all of these. So there is a little bit of a grace period, but you do want to make sure, just for your sanity and your benefit, to have your transcript postmarked or ordered by May 1st, even if it takes us a couple of weeks to process it, which typically happens around this time of year. So I would just submit it as soon as you know, or even if you aren't sure, go ahead and submit it. I don't think there is a cost to students to submit transcripts. I could be totally wrong, but just for your sanity and just, so that you know that it's been done, I would recommend sooner rather than later.
I have a question.
Yeah.
So I know that freshmen aren't allowed to have cars on campus, but if you live at home off campus, are you still allowed to drive to school and stuff?
Yeah. So freshmen are not allowed to bring cars on campus if they live on campus. But if you are commuting, you are definitely more than welcome to bring your car.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. All right. Any other questions? Ali, do you have any questions for us? All right. Well, if you do, feel free to email me.
Yeah, no question. Sorry, thank you. I was on mute. Just listening in, trying to make sure we get everything down, especially the transcript
Absolutely.
information. Yeah,
Yes. Cool. Awesome. Thank you so much for attending.
thank you.